Shit.
What do you think is gonna happen when you hit the button?
So, what were you expecting going into Nosferatu?
Better. I was expecting it to at least have a different ending, or for the characters to be more interesting.
But it had a happy ending.
Would you be happy if that was me in the ending?
The evil died. Anyways.
Would you be happy? Was that a happy ending?
We'll get to that. So you were expecting it to be better than when you left the theater?
Yes.
Okay.
It was too long.
I don't think it was too long. I was expecting it to be better too. Because I'm a fan of Robert Eggers. She doesn't care for his films. Specifically, I really like The Witch and The Lighthouse, but The Northman was okay.
Didn't you watch The Northman? Or was it The Northman or The Northman?
The Northman.
You try and watch it with me, and after about 5 minutes, I fell asleep or something.
No, we didn't watch that. I watched that in theaters. But I feel like The Lighthouse was like his last kind of film with a specific style. It feels like with The Northman and this Nosferatu movie, it feels way more tame. It feels more homogenized. It feels more kind of... Yeah, like toned down to appeal to a mainstream audience.
Except it didn't. Because if you looked at the audience at the end, I think a lot of people were kind of like, so that was that? Okay.
Yeah, it would have been way better if he just went all out with his like weirdness, his quirks as a director.
I think this movie relied a lot on just like, it didn't really have a lot of subtlety. It was all either in your face or there was nothing going on.
Yeah. So the movie starts off and Nicholas Holt's character is going to his firm or whatever to be sent to a castle. And I'm like, wait, this is just Dracula.
Yeah, so it was just Dracula, but Dracula was a little different.
That was very odd to me. If you're going to do a Nosferatu movie, why would you blend Nosferatu with Dracula? That kind of threw me through a loop, but then I was also intrigued by that because I feel like the Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola, I feel like it didn't deliver on certain elements that I would have liked, considering...
Have you read Dracula?
I'm talking about the movie, not the book.
Yeah, but it's based on the book. So
I haven't read the book. But what I didn't like about Francis Ford Coppola's movie is the romance was not believable between Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. And I feel like when Dracula finally does go to the mainland, I felt like the film didn't really execute upon the consequences of that happening. Of, kind of all this bad stuff happening.
Because it doesn't.
Exactly.
Dracula. No, in Dracula, in the book, it doesn't. He has very specific targets. It's not the same thing.
Well, I don't know, that never really, it felt like there should have been more of a kind of bigger impact when he, set foot.
Well, apart from the beginning parts with, his proto-Winona Ryder girlfriend, his early wife, apart from that, for the most part, and then when he takes her out on dates and stuff, apart from their romance, it's actually, a lot of it is very accurate.
Correct.
If I remember
but this
correctly.
is not a Dracula review. This is a Nosferatu review.
Well, you can tell which one I like better.
So, I thought the acting from the main actress was really excellent, especially in the the possession scenes. I was like, wow, that looks fucking exhausting. I'm getting exhausted just watching this.
Yeah, it was good acting, but I just think that the script and the actions that the actors had to do were stupid. Like, come on, possessions are so lame. Okay, we'll shake, we'll have, back bend, and we'll have our hair in our face. Maybe drool a bit and give a creepy smile.
Yeah, that's what possessions look like. That's what happens when you get possessed.
I'm pretty sure possessions, part of the reason that people used to believe in those people, because people had epilepsy and bipolar and stuff.
Well, they added some of that in there. It was obviously overly exaggerated for theatric effect.
Well, it was stupid.
They didn't speed her up. She was just...
Yeah. Okay.
They didn't speed her up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you could tell by the camera movement because you would see the camera being sped up. They were like following and tracking her and stuff. Also, it was very odd too. I noticed this a lot in the beginning of the movie where you can tell that the camera is on a fucking a dolly. So it'll be like stop, stop. It was just very, very weird. I don't know why.
And then they keep zooming way into stuff so they could give you a cheap jump
That
scare.
shit. No, I just didn't like that either because
That's
the camera will come close like this, and then the camera will like pan down, and then it'll be like, it was just strange choices.
And
yeah.
The movie was very dark, and then there were a lot of shots that were very zoomed in, so you felt like you had 1% view of what was going on. It was very annoying. Like, I have eyesight, I'd like to use it.
The movie wasn't very scary either, aside from the jump scares, because the movie theater was turned up to fucking 11.
Yeah. I mean, and you even knew they were coming, it's just that when they actually happened, it's like, whoa, there it is.
Yeah, this movie isn't really creepy at all. It has atmosphere, but it's not, like, creepy, dread-inducing atmosphere. It's just kind of like, oh, this is nice, you know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, Nicholas Holt's character goes to Dracula, Nosferatu's castle, essentially, and that's the best part of the movie. The first act of the film is the best act, and then the second act has a lot.
Stupid. First of all, I didn't get why he was so sweaty and just weak right away, and then especially because, okay, dude, you left your horse and you decided to walk in a place that you don't know anything without asking for directions first. You know, into the night. That's real smart in unknown wild woods. And then he was all sweaty and nervous and couldn't do anything, and then decided to go digging around in this place that was clearly a crypt, where if you don't want to insult the person that you're staying with, you are not going to go digging around in their probably family crypt and poke at the dead bodies.
Well, you just skipped way ahead of past everything I was going to talk about. I didn't give a fuck about any of that. I was like, whatever. The first act of the film is the best. The second act has a lot of pacing issues where it's still going along, but you feel it kind of starting to slow down. You're like, eh. And then the third act is just kind of like all over the place. But the first act, yeah, when he's actually setting he's setting forth to go to the castle, and then when he gets to the crossroads, it's probably either the first or second or best shot in the film when he goes to the crossroads and it's snowing and the chariot's coming to him from that point on to where it concludes with the first meeting of him with Nosferatu is like some of the best shit because it uses a lot of dream logic. It feels very kind of David Lynch-esque where it feels dreamlike. It's very dreamy and it's just super well shot, and the sound design. Speaking of, the score is so well done. It honestly gave me a lot of Tim Burton, Danny Elfman vibes a lot of the time, which I really enjoyed considering this film, the atmosphere feels very Tim Burton-esque, which I really enjoyed. Speaking of the main titular character, Nosferatu, I found his character design to be... It was okay. It was just very underwhelming.
It was cool at the beginning when you didn't see much, but then after it was lame.
Yeah, because his voice and the use of shadow.
And they never explained why his back was all Humpty Dumpty like.
I don't know. It was just... His introduction was amazing, but once they showed him in his crypt, all the enthusiasm I had for seeing more of him was immediately dropped because you get to see full Nosferatu dong. I don't know what the point of that was, to be honest.
I guess this shows that's the only functional part of him. Well, not functional, but I guess not completely gross looking part.
Yeah, because Nicholas Holt goes to impale him because he's getting stir crazy in the castle, wants to fucking escape. Isn't able to, so he ends up finding a door that leads to Nosferatu's,
Crypt.
Sleep mattress, or sleep number.
His coffin?
He goes in there, there's just conveniently a pickaxe. It's like, well, it's time to kill you. So he goes to kill him. Nosferatu wakes up, sits up like a fucking vampire, full dong exposed. Wasn't flapping or nothing, because that would have been too distracting.
No, but the way the light was on it was definitely, it was not an accident that it was clear to see.
It was just a very odd choice to just to show a full nude Nosferatu. I didn't understand that.
Also, I thought he was supposed to be conked out in the dirt during the daytime, but apparently he can get up when he notices that somebody's around.
That was an odd lore choice as well, where he's not sleeping in dirt. Also, a big, kind of not really a big deal, but a gripe for me is that I wish they would have gave him creepier eyes. I wish they would have gave him yellow contacts. I felt that would have been more unsettling and more effective.
Well, I think they gave him corpsey eyes. That's why they look kind of milky.
Which is okay. It's just not.
Well, they should have. Again, they should have made him look more alive over time. Then
he looked
had yellow
more
eyes.
corpse-like than he did vampire, which was disappointing to me. I mean, the acting across the board, Bill Skarsgård, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe, all the acting was stupendous. The set design, amazing. Production design, score, soundtrack, sound design, everything.
They talk about how not Jonathan and not whatever her name is supposed to be, how they're not very wealthy, but of course all their clothes are new and nice and completely untouched, and it just seemed very unrealistic. 0% threadbare. Everything was, it was just darker colors, but all the same type of stuff as their rich
Everything
friends.
was period accurate.
It was. It just, if they're supposed to be poor and therefore depending on this dude's welfare in part to keep her safe because there's nobody else around, and he needs this job to make money because he's not making much, and I need to support two people, then it's like, oh, well, why do they have all the nice clothes?
That could have been,
stuff?
yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, my favorite shot, I think they put it in the trailers, is when he finally does come to whatever town this is, and he reaches out over the balcony, and you just see his shadow hand just going across. And I was sitting there thinking, is this a fully digital shot, or did they create a miniature and then just... Because that was the coolest shot, for sure.
I thought the part when the ship arrived, that was the coolest part.
That was pretty cool, too. I did like how when he finally does arrive, he literally brings death with him. Like the Black Death, the Black Plague. That was really cool. I did like how he killed the kids, too. I was like, how are you gonna... There's no other point for the kids to be in here. Like,
God, they were annoying anyways.
Yeah, so... And then he's all like... And just throws him to the side. I was like, hell yeah.
They should put this empty straw sucking noise in.
Yeah, he should have stuck a straw in them, and then when he started drinking them, they all shriveled up into a little deflated balloon type thing.
Like reverse the mummy when he gets dried out.
Mm-hmm. And then they're like an accordion when he's done sucking. They're like kind of been funny. But yeah, so I was confused as to why Nosferatu was interested in the lady, and the lady was interested in Nosferatu.
Yeah, they kind of explain that.
They do.
Well,
they do. When he goes to meet her towards the end, and he's like, "You awoke me from my slumber with your."
But how did she awake him?
Because they explain that.
Lonely?
No,
that was the
they literally explain it. It's because she's some sort of super special clairvoyant. She's able to peep into the I don't know, the what's it called?
Yeah, but you know what she
did with her
clairvoyance? She was lonely, so she woke up dragged, then they banged, and then nothing happened until she got married, and then she started having visions again. Why was there nothing else going on?
Because she was young and easily seduced by whatever.
Yeah, but if she woke him up, and she was a clairvoyant, why was there absolutely nothing else that she was exposed to in terms of her clairvoyance? Was he the only supernatural thing in the world?
No, that was an interesting thing, too. Why would Dracula wait so long?
Until she was married and no longer accessible for nightly... dream disturbance. Because he didn't do anything in the meantime.
Yeah, they could have explained that better.
No, I think it was just, somebody else is banging my girl. Pretty much.
I interpreted it as when she met Nicholas Holt's character, she kind of turned off all her abilities to some degree.
Which also doesn't make sense. Like, you're happy.
But they didn't explain that.
Yeah, that was just stupid. It was like, superpower so that you can be useful, but not in a useful way.
Yeah, I guess Nosferatu is supposed to be some sort of metaphor for your shadow, your actual, your dark desires or whatever. Which I wish they would have explored or at least executed that to a better degree. There was definitely some Jungian concepts in there that didn't really... Because... Yeah, they could have done more with the dream logic stuff. They could have done more with the whole symbolism and metaphors of, your dark desires and your shadow self and all that. I felt like maybe there was the earlier drafts of the script might have had more of that.
And it made no no sense because we see the first time that she encounters him when she's younger and he's choking her, and she clearly is not having a good time. And
she was. She was all like,
no, after.
And then he was like, and she's like,
You wish. Anyways, but then after when they're talking, she's like, he was so sweet and nice. I'm like, first of all, he had like giant pus holes in his back, which is horrifying enough. You don't need to bang him just because he's nice. Secondly, he wasn't nice. He was strangling her.
He was the BDSM Quasimodo. Gimp suit and all. So yeah, so the ending. So the ending. I guess what Willem Dafoe deceives Nicholas Holt's character. He goes to the lady and is like, "You need to do this, and we're gonna go do this, and you need to sacrifice yourself, and I'm gonna distract your husband so you can basically kill yourself to save the world." I think that's what happened.
Yep, and they're both like, "Tee hee, yeah, good plan. Let me kill myself."
Yeah, because then they go to the crypt and he's like, "Wait, what are we doing here? Nosferatu wants her," and he's all like, "Yeah, we deceived
It
you."
didn't make any sense.
It was so funny. I was like, "What?"
This old green goblin isn't coming out. We just put him back away.
He's all dancing around while setting all these rats on fire. I was like, "What's going on?" Farting and shit. He wasn't.
That
farting.
was you.
Oh. Well, yeah. So then.
And then Nicholas Holt just sprints back.
Yeah, and then he's all.
Yeah.
I can't really.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It was interesting. And then Nosferatu's all like, "Let's make a sexy time." And then he sticks it in once because she makes like one moan. She's like, "Oh," and then he's all like, he's like, "That's all you get." With his rigor mortis penis. You can tell
that a guy directed this where it's like, yeah, penetration with nothing to go before it. That'll make you real excited. Especially
if I saw Nosferatu like that, I'd be getting
He's a dried out dead guy. Like, come on, you're gonna need a lot of warming up if he's a cold dead corpse anyways.
So they make the sexy time all night long until the sun rises.
Yeah, literally, they dies. Thank God for her.
Yeah, this was a cool shot too, where he looks into the sun and he's all like.
Yeah, it didn't make sense either why she was so into him. She's like, "Oh, you lumpy back, let me hold it."
No, she was making it seem like she was into him, and she was embracing him because it was like her embracing her dark desires or whatever.
Which made no sense.
And then dying.
I did like the part though where she insulted Nicholas Holt. She was like, "You have a limp noodle, and you can never make me happy."
Yeah, with drool dripping from her mouth as some sort of suggestive thing. And then she's like, "You could never make a sexy time with me like the Draculas does. You could never
satisfy me the way he does," which, if it was one time, I mean, when you were a kid, are you sure you remember it correctly?
And then he's all like, "Let me hit you with a hunky-dory."
2 seconds later,
and then she's all like, let us show him our love. And then it flashes Bloody Mary Carrie for a second, and then she's like, "That's enough of that. That was lame."
And then she starts laughing, so you know he wasn't very good.
And then he quivers up in the corner while Nosferatu starts cucking out his wife. And it turns into a completely different movie for 10 minutes.
I think you might have seen something different than I
did. Oh. So yeah, the movie just kind of ends, and everyone in the movie theater were just kind of like...
that unimpressed smile.
Yeah.
Like, what did we just see?
There was a bunch of people that were just like... I was kind of like... silly? It's kind of like weird. That's kind of like... Why did we see Nosferatu's dick? I can never burn that out of my brain.
I know, I was so excited. I was like, "Yay, no boobs! Yay, no boobs!" And then when we saw boobs, I was like, "Really?"
And then we saw a girl riding a horse naked.
Was that her or not? I wasn't sure.
That was a different lady.
Are you sure it's a different lady?
I was just thinking how painful that would be.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't want no hair up in there. Thank you.
It wasn't even a saddle. Just straight bareback in the horse.
Well, I feel like a saddle could be more uncomfortable because it's definitely harder than, horse skin and fat and muscle. But there's horse hair on that horse skin. I was just
impressed. I was like, wow. I didn't understand what they were doing as some sort of tradition either.
It was a dream
I thought they were going to sacrifice her or something, and they're like, "No, we need this naked lady on this horse to go cleanse the earth of this vampire."
Yeah, so our steaks can be real hard, I guess. Which didn't make sense.
Shit was weird.
Because it looked like him.
This movie needed more flatulence. I can say that. Yes. So the movie ended, and I was just sitting there like, that was okay. Like, thought it would be better. It just felt underwhelming. That's my main takeaway. The main
And the
feeling I
Renfield,
had.
the discount Renfield guy was lame.
I completely forgot about that dude.
He was so lame. His character was just a chubby naked dude. Old dude, too. Like, I did not need to see old man cheeks on the floor.
Yeah, movie would have been better if we saw his floppy. 10 out of 10.
Just because you would have liked it does not mean the audience would have liked it.
Excuse me?
Whatever makes you feel better.
So yeah, overall, I'd rate this movie like a 5.5 out of 10 probably, if I had to go with the rating scale. Where it's like, it's okay. The more I think about it, the more the more I think about it, the less enthused I am.
Yeah, why did they choose to have it be set in Germany if none of the actors even speak in German or have a German accent or anything?
They were speaking like some sort of like Romanian or Transylvanian or some shit.
That part was cool for like the 2 seconds where they had Roma people.
Yeah. What the hell? They should have done more of that. They should have just subtitled the whole movie. That would have been pretty sick. I'd be here for it. Because the subtitles look cool too. Yeah. When Nosferatu's all talking in his spooky, I want to drink your blood, and they subtitle it, I'm like, this is sick. I like this.
Yeah, I also don't get why he drank, like, pretty much from people's boobs, but not quite.
He's drinking from their heart.
Yeah,
He goes,
your heart is not there. There's bones above it, thank you. And that's, unless you can pop your jaw to place like a snake, it's kind of hard to get the right bite to actually get your teeth in properly.
He goes,
He'd basically just be nibbling their skin.
That's
he
hot.
wouldn't be going very deep. That's usually why, actually, they show them going for the neck. Because
bloody
it's easy to get your teeth
wolves chasing me through some sort of blue inferno. Yes. Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula is still better. Dracula 2000 might be better. Might be more entertaining.
It's not Dracula, but it's fun. It doesn't follow the original storyline. But
we need another goofy vampire movie. Renfield was pretty good. Did you watch that?
No.
I watched it on a plane.
I didn't see it. I think you watched it.
It's actually, what the fuck? That's Nicholas Hoult too.
He must be getting a vampire kick.
The hell?
But the best vampire movie will always be Dracula Dead Loving It.
Queen of the Damned.
Nope. And Mel Brooks is awesome. He's smart. He's good.
Well, Queen of the Damned has the best soundtrack for a vampire movie.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying Dracula Dead Loving It is the best.
Fine. Agree to...
Fushta!
Alright, well, what would you rate this movie?
I feel like a 6 out of 10 because I definitely wanted to see it, and if I hadn't seen it, I would want to see it. But I don't think I feel the need to rewatch. At most, I would just look up the stills from the cool parts and maybe watch the 30-second clip from those. Just be like, yeah, that was cool. You
would watch the still of Dracula rising out of his coffin with his floppy just taking us to StrigoyMeetSpin.com.
Oh yeah, that band, Street Boy, was a good vampire movie too. Although you didn't get it for some reason because I guess...
That was okay.
Because you weren't listening to what they were saying, so you didn't know what was going on.
I was.
But
anyways.
You would ask me stuff they just talked about and be like, well, so why are they doing this?
Because the plot was fucking all over the place.
You have no taste.
Well, go watch it. Support your local...
Or don't. If you're going to spend money, you don't need to spend it on this.
If you want to watch it, go watch it. If you have no interest in this film, don't watch it. What more can I say? Do what the fuck you want. Vote with your wallet.
Yeah, if you're not that excited about it, don't watch it on IMAX. Watch it in the cheapest version you could find. Because otherwise you'll feel like you wasted money.
Yeah, take your kids to it. They'll have a great time. 10 out of 10. Would recommend with your kids. On that note,
I would know I brought my child.
No, thank you.